The truth.
Hey guys, I'm back here with another video, and as you can see, finally back here with KitKat, man. I know all y'all guys were talking Discord like, where's KitKat, man? You making videos, man? Where's KitKat? He's finally back with another video. How are you feeling with all the fans wanting you back here?
Immensely flattered. Thank you. Also, if you guys are interested in some of my stuff too, we're going to actually have a little crossover in February of next year. So that'll be something that you can mark on your calendars. I'll share it with them, you know. That'll be on my channel over on Bad America, and you can find me and some community posts. So if you want more of my stuff, you know where to find me.
Yo guys have been enjoying KitKat reviewing the Reviewing Stuff series, so I just love this series on Netflix called Casa de Papel, but the English translation is Money Heist, and I actually watched it for my Spanish 300 class. I'm a Spanish major, so we had to pick a show to watch in Spanish and then talk about it on Monday after the weekend. We watch on the weekend, talk about Monday. So I selected that one, and I just love that series. But KitKat has never seen that. He's never seen any trailers or anything. So I'm gonna see what his reaction is to the trailer. And it's actually a Netflix original. Netflix created it. Do you want to know a little bit about the premise?
Not really, no. What little I know, I've heard from him, but I haven't seen any episode or previews of the show.
Okay, so let's go into it blindly.
Sure, let's do it.
Quiero proponerte un negocio. Un atraco singular. Porque no vamos a robar el dinero de nadie.
¿Qué vamos a robar?
Buenos días. Esta máscara se ha convertido en un símbolo. Nosotros somos la resistencia. A todos nosotros nos han llamado Robin Hoods. Vamos a ser los tipos que se plantan.
Todo puede joderse en una milésima de segundo.
El Estado nos ha declarado la guerra. Y no nos vamos a esconder. Vamos a pelear. ¡Ahora! Quiero a todo Dios alertado.
No hay grandes batallas sin grandes contrincantes.
No se puede salir con vida del Banco de España. Es imposible. Pero yo voy a sacaros de allí.
So, KitKat, you just watched the trailer for Casa de Papel or Money Heist. So what's your thoughts?
It's definitely a lot to take in at once. I thought the sound editing was, really clear. I mean, there wasn't any of those awkward cuts. I'm grateful they didn't use that cliche thing you often see in TV and movie trailers where it's like they just halt the music and then rely on the dead silence. And then, they have a nice variety of, different cuts and shots that kind of show the large, intense world. And I take it that from the trailer, this is a very action-heavy show with a lot of death-defying stunts and, erratic characters kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of action. It's an action series.
Yeah.
With a lot of violence and gore.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. If this is the regular version, I can only imagine what a Red Band trailer would look like. I know we were watching a Spanish dub, so thanks for keeping on the subtitles. I take it that Netflix kind of did a Squid Game thing where there's an English translation and a Spanish original kind of thing. Is that how that works?
There's English dub.
Yeah.
It's popular in America. It's popular here. Mm-hmm. But then when I talk to people, people watching it here, they just go with the dub.
Interesting. Yeah, for those that don't know, I'm I'm in the unpopular consensus that I usually prefer subtitles, especially when the storyline takes place in another country. So I'm the weirdo that would, for example, watch Squid Game with the subtitles. I'm the weirdo that would play Ghost of Tsushima in Japanese, you know? It's just like, for me, I really care about the setting immersing me into the atmosphere. And for me, like, hearing it in Spanish with English subtitles is worth the trade-off of me having to, like, scan the bottom of the screen every 5 seconds, because it kind of helps me entrench it more in a grounded setting. Especially when they're, like, kind of make it more semi-realistic like this is, you know, a lot of the kind of covering the government corruption and the allusions to Robin Hood, very much showing how it's like a class struggle. Despite everything that happened on screen, it's like they had a very specific order behind it. Like, for example, how they usually organize the gun violence by the setting. So, like, they first have it in the city, then they switch it over to the banks, and they segue it in and out of the ocean summer trips just to indicate the nature of which settings are most important to the core storyline. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was, like, a subplot, like they had to, like, move to another part of the country to evade the law, only to get caught in the one where the guy has, like, a bazooka on his shoulder kind of thing.
Yeah, one thing about the show is that, well, you got this one plot, then there's a bunch of, like, little things happening inside of that plot. For example, one girl that's a hostage, well, obviously they take hostages. So then one girl's a hostage, then she gets pregnant, and then she gets birth inside of a money vault. And then I think another one is one of the criminals that were inside the group just wanted to leave because he was feeling very nihilistic and depressed. So then he would just open the doors out of the bank because he wanted the police to shoot him because he just hated his life and hated the life being a criminal. And that's my critique of it, honestly, because I know that it's hard to just keep with that plot about them taking over the bank, but it just feels like there's so much going on when you got all those little things happening, all those side stories inside a big story. But what's your opinion on that?
I get that they're, like you said, trying to be vague, but there is kind of an element to where if I never watched an episode of the show and I didn't have you right next to me telling me that, like, kind of vibe for the show, I would have never picked up on the fact that there were subplots. I would have, you know, got the impression that this was, like, a very lean, meaty story with a very, like, linear story path from the way the trailer frames it. I get that they can't give away, you know, giving birth, but, I mean, it would have been nice if they would have shown, like, a subtle element of, like, this world taking on an element of its own, because right now I'm just kind of getting the overview of the main plot, but not the tone of anything else beyond the action. I take it that the mask off part was a big reveal in the series, right?
The mask off?
Where the one central guy we've been following the whole trailer, that I never got to know his name because he never said it, takes off his mask and everyone's like, you know?
Yeah, then he's, like, revealing his identity to people.
Is that, like, a big plot point in the show? That's a big thing? It's like, stay secret! And then it's like, he's just like, he reveals it, like his last-ditch effort.
Yeah, because what they do is that all the criminals, they're always wearing masks around with the fights with the police and also with the hostages because they don't want to reveal their identity.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where the trailer shows a bit too much, just because I feel like I can kind of already see where the story would go just from watching that part and the reactions to other people. I kind of feel like they probably should have put that in there just because it kind of gives me a bit too much information, as opposed to, like, subplots where you could have used that same amount of time to, like, maybe focus on some of the other characters that, like, were a part of those subplots. You know what I mean? Think, like, you have the main plot, then you introduce, okay, here's this, this, and this. Just to, like, show, okay, here's what's most important, then there's this, and there's this also going on. Like, a good example would be, like, One Piece. Remember how it showed Luffy first, then it showed, who was the chick with the orange hair?
Nami?
Nami, yeah, like, they showed the One Piece, they showed Luffy, they showed Nami, to show these are the most important characters and these are the 3 core plot points. You have her trying to organize a crew, maintain her strength. You have him trying to start a crew and go after this. And then you have the central plot of the treasure. I kind of feel like Netflix could have taken a couple cues from that kind of trailer and just, like, focused on, here's the main plot about them being Robin, like these surrogate Robin Hood, V for Vendetta kind of people. Here is the second plot and here's the third plot. You know, like the 2 subplots in the main plot, just so the audience is aware of it. I do like the way that they framed the antagonist, though, in this trailer. Like, how he doesn't show up till the very end, or, like, near the end. And you just kind of see him as this intimidating figure with a ruthless, cold expression and a gun. I think that's an excellent way of helping us understand that this guy is, like, he's either the big bad, or he's an extension of the big bad, like this really menacing henchman. I definitely got that feeling very clearly when I watched it. I take it that the kissing parts were like indicating like core relationships and all that throughout the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Relationships, like the love triangles and everything.
Yeah, okay. That was done really well. I mean, I'm glad they didn't lean into that. I'm glad they just kind of showed those elements just to like kind of show the rush of adrenaline to understand how very sporadic, very off the cuff with these kind of personalities. So it's like they're juggling for their lives while viciously fighting over each other romantically kind of thing. Is that the kind of dynamic they have in the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that immediately from this trailer. I think that was very good character work. And I like how they kind of leave it open-ended with the ending. It's not like one of those trailers where it's like it reveals the whole storyline. Here, I get a bit of the beginning and a bit of the end, but like for the most part, I have no idea where the story goes for the first 3 seasons that this is advertising. I had mixed feelings about the way they did the whole vault thing. I mean, I understand that there was no real way around that because the vault is like they say this is a scary thing. I do like how they kind of showed the dead body afterward though, just to show that like this isn't just one of those things to like the Fast and Furious franchise where everyone lives. Like these characters will die off and they will die off in very sporadic and violent ways. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah, no, the trailer captured that very well. So yeah, overall I think this is a rock solid trailer with some great editing. I love the music choice. Is that like a score within the film? Or the TV series, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good track choice. It really sells the intensity, the vitriolic effort, the highs, the lows. It's a very dynamic track.
And what do you think about the characters such as the professor?
I take it that the first one, is that the guy that's leading the whole money heist thing?
Yeah, he's the big boss.
Yeah, and I take it that the big boss is also the one that's like saying, I can get you out of this, you know? Like, that's the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the trailer does a great job characterizing his personality. He's very stern, very pragmatic, very much someone who has a high tenacity. And am I in the right ballpark of his characterization?
He's more like a sneaky character.
Interesting. Okay. I did not get that vibe from this trailer at all. Quite the opposite. I got him more as like a straightforward force of nature when I saw it.
He's a very interesting character because the thing about him is that he's not inside the bank with the crew. He's the big boss of the crew.
Right.
But then he's not actually inside the bank. He's coordinating them with technology on their phones. And then he's also combating the police intelligence. And he's contacting them trying to throw them off.
Right.
Another interesting thing about him is that he actually has a romantic relationship with the girl who's the boss of the intelligence, the police intelligence.
Okay.
So then he has a relationship with her and like goes on dates with her, but then she doesn't know that he's like the worst enemy. He knows who she is, but she doesn't know that that's the dude they're trying to catch.
He strikes me more as like a straightforward kind of like, this is what I believe in. I will go as far as I need to get this goal without sacrificing my basic empathy kind of thing. That's the kind of characterization I get from this trailer. Because I will say the trailer did a great job of making me want to see the series because how well paced it is and how well it characterizes so much of the world in one sitting. But I would be a bit disappointed when I learned the professor wasn't the central character, just because I would be going in with that false expectation if I didn't get that context from you. You see what I'm saying? So that's probably my one big note that I think the trailer could improve upon, is that I feel like they should do a better job of emphasizing that this is a team, that they are all central characters, and it's not just one person that's part of a team.
What would you rate the trailer out of 10?
I'd probably give it a solid 8. I'd give it a solid 8. I think it's wonderful sound mixing. I love the structure of the different world building. I love the sound mixing, very clear. I love the cinematography shots. It gives it a very distinctive style. I think the acting from the trailer, they picked very deliberate shots to emphasize the intensity of it, and it felt very believable, like I was watching a group of real people, even when they were wearing the goofy masks with the headgear, the hood and the coat. Color grading was very nice, very consistent. It felt very much like one large story. It didn't just feel like a bunch of stuff cut together. It felt very natural in the way it moved. My only notes against it are, I wish we could see more of the other characters, because I think it's a touch misleading with the central professor. And I do think that they could have done a better job of characterizing the fear of the bank. But on the flip side, I think the ambiguity of whether or not he's the central big bad or an extension of it kind of piques my curiosity and makes me want to learn more, while still establishing him as like this intimidating force. And I also like how they kind of segue the romance in there. The kisses don't feel cheap or, like for shock value. They feel very natural when you put them juxtaposed with the gunshots. It feels very much like they're in rapid succession. Like, it helps me get into the characters' heads of like, these are dominant personalities that are like living as if they're gonna die and drop dead of a heart attack tomorrow kind of thing. And if that's what the trailer is going for, I think they nailed it. So yeah, I think for those reasons, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
And would you watch Money Heist?
After seeing that, oh heck yeah, I would definitely watch that. If I were to like go straight from that trailer, that would definitely make me want to watch Money Heist if I were to see this trailer.
Good thing that you're able to come on here and watch the trailer for like Casa de Papel or Money Heist and give your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I mean, that was that was a lot. I mean, I hadn't even heard of this show before today, but you know what? I mean, it's like it looks like my kind of thing.
Do not miss out on it. Go ahead and watch in July 2024. Go watch Glazed Over, produced by KitKat. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for having me.